Dennis, what's going on? Ian and the absent Jarl. Zyro's in the house. Oh, you hit 50 subs today. Nice. Says the not real American. I tried to bench with a belt and help my leg drive. Nice. You know, that's leg drive something you can't, you can explain it, but you can't teach it. It's something you just, one day it happens and you're like, oh shit. You know, I can explain how it works 100 times, but until it actually happens for somebody. And then it's like, you've just unlocked a superpower. Who knows that benching's a whole body lift? What is an egg timer? So I wasn't gonna train again tonight, but tomorrow's my one day off. I have 3 more training days after tonight, and it is on Wednesday I squat 600 for 4. Friday I bench 355 for 4. That's not too bad. And then Sunday 635 for 4. So that's like a volume equivalent of what I need to be able to hit on the platform without going. See, for anybody, like, if they talk about like you shouldn't max out all the time because it's unhealthy and it's dangerous. That's just essentially maxing out. So you find the mathematical equivalent in a rep range to what you need your numbers to be. And you can roughly calculate, you know, I need to be able to hit 315 for 10 reps to be able to bench 405, roughly. Right in there. Some guys do it at 9 or 8. Some guys need to do 12. But most people, if you can bench 315 10 times, you can hit 405. So that's a mathematical way of, it's better for hypertrophy, it's better for your tendons and ligaments, it's better for everything. And you're not putting yourself in, you know, that risk of blowing stuff out, if that makes sense. But that being said, 95% of your 1 rep max for 4 reps is a lot. Everything's going great except bench press. That's why I'm using the football bar tonight. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to skip my last day of training, but how do I work around? Oh, change your grip. So if I go from a regular grip to a neutral one, the pain is mitigated. So okay, we'll try that out. Is it optimal? No, but it's better than missing training. Are you on juice? I suppose that's one way to look at it. Are you a member of what? How do you engage leg drive when benching? Most leg drive I get at bench is pain at the bottom of my thigh when benching heavy. Well, I see that's the thing. I can explain it, but until you actually experience it. So, really what you're trying to do with leg drive is you're pushing this way. If that makes sense. I'm going to push this way. So the weight holds you in place. You got your shoulders pinned. And there's your feet set wherever you want them. Weight down here. I'm going to push. I'm going to push. Push them. And it's kind of like, it's like almost like kipping with a pull-up. You're just boom, you're driving. Why does it work? I don't know, but it works. You can, the first time you do it successfully, most guys, the problem is you see a lot of guys when they use their legs, their ass goes up. And that doesn't count. If you're getting cramps, you need to look at your micronutrients. see. Sometimes when I bench, get a leg cramp. I blew off a leg in Afghanistan. Any suggestion on how to train quads? Let me think about this. Well, let's see, I train with a couple amputees. Do they, how much of your tibialis, if any, do you have any of the joint at all, or is it gone at the knee? Don Paludo, your Peter is showing. If it was, you wouldn't be able to see me. Watch this jabroni. Jabroni? You must be in your 50s. Haven't heard that one in a while. Sick burn maybe 30 years ago. Jabroni. Blew up my car while on vacation. I don't know if it matters how you lost the leg. Bulgarian split squats. Lizzie, what's going on? Oh man, wow, the chat's starting off good tonight. Well, that just helps me keep pace. If I don't have anybody intelligent or interesting to talk to, I lift. Now, when you have your legs tucked under, absent, like when you do leg drive, it's real easy to push off the bench. So you got to kind of train it. I don't even think I use leg drive on that. Ego lifting is the only way to go. So my wife is in the chat. She's moderating. Yeah, that's why I don't answer his questions. It's like, my son's 13 and he knows what I'm talking about. I wonder, maybe he's trapped at home and he's not allowed to leave. Bubble boy. Yeah, Christina's lurking. Hey baby, how you doing? Sadly, every time I leg drive, my butt comes off the bench. It's just something you got to work at, Dennis. So if you mess with your foot position a little bit, try to find what works. Maybe you have to move your feet out a little, or tuck them under a little bit more. It's different for everybody, tall, short. And then it's, practice it at the lower, lighter weights where it's easy to control. Thank you, Corrupted. Jonas Asuncio? What kind of exercise for rotator cuffs do you do? I do an extreme range of motion overhead press. All right. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick. Gotta get my lifer juice. Alright. See, my first working set is 320 for 3. This is my last warm-up set. Actually, you know what? I should probably just go right to it, huh? Next working set is, just 330. All right. Whew. Man, my cardio sucks. After this meet, I'm gonna start doing way more cardio. Keith Murphy, double A love from Ireland. Good. Ian Miller, double A, what's up? Dakota, what weight is that? I just hit to 320 and now I got 330 on there. Yikes, watch the fingers, bro. Okay. Giovanni, what's up? Yeah, cardio, right? Do weights cost a lot? They're, from what I've seen, they're about $1 a pound. The plate almost fell off. Oh no! Whatever will I do? Thank you. Yes, Ian. Ian, you have 2 channels. You have a channel with 50 subscribers, and you run 2. Like, why? So, hey, Ian, you're either running another channel or you have somebody that's trying to imitate you. More about this channel. Joined March 3rd, 2025. Should we report him? I'm just doing sets of 3, so I'm competing in a little over. I'm competing on the 15th, so this is. It's not my. I have one more bench day after this. What we're doing is heavyweight acclimation, so we're in that like 75-80% range, and we're just doing sets. Yesterday I did squats 580 for 3, and then I was supposed to hit 620 in the deadlift for a double, but my grip slipped, so I only got 1 rep. But now we're getting used to the heavier weights. My last squat day I'll be repping 600, and then deadlifts I'll be, I don't know, 640, something like that, and then bench will be like 355 for a set of 4. And that'll put me, because my opener, my opener for squat is probably going to be 610. My opener for bench will probably be right around 370, whatever I can comfortably pause for like a double or triple. And my opening for deadlift will probably be 620, 630, somewhere around there. And then from there, you have 3 attempts to get as much as you can. Usually when you're powerlifting, when you open, it should be something that you can do whether you're sick, if you're not feeling well, if you've had bad sleep, whatever the case may be, you know you're going to get the lift. That way you'll stay in the meet. You won't bomb out. Your second attempt should be going for it. It should be trying to hit the numbers that you want. And then your third attempt is either to get any second attempts you missed or to go for records. That's where you go ham. That's where you just leave it on the platform. I hear all these lifters, they'll brag about going 9 for 9 lifts. I got 9 for 9 lifts. Well, that means you pushed out. Like, you know what I mean? What's more important to you? But some people chase numbers. That's cool. Keeping lifting those weights, I bet you go far in life. Well, I'm 50, David. I don't know. Some say I had my shot, but we live a pretty good life. I got no complaints. I think I'm doing pretty good. Keep hearing it's okay to take a day off or 2. Yeah, you absolutely. Oh, after I'm done with this competition, I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off. Ian, do you not get sarcasm or joking? Like, I feel like, I don't know, man. Are you autistic or something? I have my dad hat on. Ian's like, you're my son. So the question is, first of all, why would you have an alt account with the exact same name? You have 2 accounts, the same name, Ian Miller. Why? Knowing, and then we were joking, should we report you? Because usually when people make alt accounts with your name, it's a fake account. Somebody's trying to impersonate you. But then the other joke, the third, there's layers to this onion, is why would somebody alt account a channel that's only got 50 subscribers? And that's not to belittle your efforts. We all just start somewhere. But do you understand how that doesn't make sense? Like, why do you have another account? Did somebody ban you or something? What do you eat? Everything, Gavin. So he's back. Ban the alt. Right, it's like, what the hell? You don't know what a Peter is? He doesn't understand when I say that the only cardio I do is when my wife lets me. Like, what are you talking about? Wow. Let's have a talk about the birds and the bees, son. When 2 people love each other very much, they do yoga together. Bryson, what's up? Oh man, the tendonitis is bugging. Hit 20 reps back to back. Okay. How much do you deadlift? Hopefully I'll be able to hit 700 in competition. We'll see. Usually, like, whenever I compete, I can usually put about 50 pounds on my deadlift from what I pull in the gym. Like the gym, I'm so unmotivated, and I'm just like, ugh, everything's heavy. Like a 640 will really be a grinder. But like when I'm on the platform, 640 flies up like it's nothing. I don't know if it's because of the adrenaline or whatever, but um, two times I've attempted close to 700 pounds, and two times I got the bar to my knees, and I was unable to get it locked out. So maybe third time's the charm. We'll see. Uh, Little Tyrone's baby mama. That's a cool name. Joined 10 days ago. No subscribers. I wonder whose alt account that belongs to. Make that weight your bitch. Yeah, don't follow a training program. uh, what's your motivation to get big? I have no motivation to get big whatsoever. I'm a power lifter. Are you a Marine? Yes. Why are there so many Ian Millers? You know, the world can't handle one of them. It looks like I'm going to be answering the same questions over and over again. Do you get compliments from people in public? Oh, yeah, all the time. But I don't know. I don't carry myself like that way, if that makes sense. I don't think I do, or I try not to. How old are you? 50. Uh, 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 is that a Tyrone weight bench daddy? So I don't understand the joke, so I'm trying to figure out which person would think that's funny. Like, why is that funny? Tyrone weight. Somebody help me out here. Tyrone weight. Let's look it up. It doesn't. Nothing comes up when I Google it. I don't know. I'm not sure what the joke is. So, are you natty? No. I'm as natural as a Nature Valley granola bar. Good fellas. Thank you for your service. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you bench those 3 plates? It should be easy. No, I put them up there for decoration. What's your motivation to be a power lifter? Well, I'm ranked one in the world in my weight and age, like all federations. I'm the number one 50-year-old raw lifter at 220. I got the Nevada state records in 2 weight classes across the board, and I'm hoping to break the national records on March 15th. There's 2 things I want to get before I hang it up. I want to get best lifter at a meet, and I had 2 meets in a row where I had the highest total, so I was the strongest overall weight power lifter at the competition, 2 in a row. But I didn't get best lifter because they do it with dot scoring, meaning it's kind of like how much you lift to your weight. So a guy that weighs 143 pounds had a 600-pound deadlift, and even though I deadlifted more than him, his dot score was higher than mine, so I didn't get best lifter, and that really chapped my ass. I was like, damn it. So I want to get one best lifter award. That's like best in show at a dog show. And then, of course, I want to see if I can break the national records. And I think if I could do those 2 things, I would say that I had a pretty good run. For my age and weight, I am ranked. I know I'm in the top 20 all time. It's just be. I don't know. Hopefully, I will make the USPA Hall of Fame someday. We'll see. But But no, I don't know. I don't know. I love it. I love it. I love the sport. I love the sport. And I'm getting up there, and I know that I can't do this forever. So I told myself I would stop competing once I started backsliding. But so far, every competition I've PR'd at least one lift, even if it's 5 pounds. So it's hard to, I don't know. I am getting kind of tired of the process though, because like we're 2 weeks out, or a little less than 2 weeks, and now is when everything hurts and it's a grind and it sucks and I don't want to do it. This happens every time I compete. Every competition, you get to like that 2 weeks before competing, and that's when you're peaking and you're hitting your max weights and your body's hurting and everything's like, oh, you start questioning your life decisions. It's like, give me a second. Oh, where did it go? Son of a bitch. I'm lost my marbles. Well, I don't need it. All right. You guys can't see it on camera probably. I've actually got weights on the end of these. So, not that it matters. But if I tell you I got 330 on there, and people are like, "That looks like 315." No, there's weights on the end, so. Is it 330? My second set. Let me make sure I got that right. Second set, 330 for 2 to 4. So, program calls for minimum of 2 reps, maximum of 4. So even if I could do more than 4, I'm not going to, because the program is calling for no more than 4. And the reason why is because the last set will be all out. All right, last set is my timer. 345. That moved pretty good. That was easy. You're gonna go delete all your accounts for this one. Well, I'm like, hey, I don't know why people need more than one account, but if you do, you should probably name it something different. Thank you, Gary. J Slice, what's up? Andrew, hell yeah. My max at 15. I don't even think I lifted weights at 15. As a matter of fact, I think I was on the streets when I was 15. I could run though. The damage has been done. You're runner boy level now. I bench 190 at 15. Is that good? It sounds good to me. It seems like a lot of weight for a 15-year-old. I didn't even work out when I was 15. I don't know how much you weigh. I don't know. I don't really know enough about how strong someone at that age should be. Like, what level of training of somebody that's going through puberty, or still growing, rather. Because a lot of, I think powerlifting stuff, they start them around 14, 15 years old, so that's when the kids get into lifting. So you got some big dudes that can walk in the gym, and their first day they can hit 225. They're just beefy. And then you got guys like me who, I could barely do 110 pounds, and it took me a few months to get to one plate, and then I just kept going up and up and up. But it took me a long time to get strong. So it's different for everybody. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, like, your genetics, how big are you, what kind of training have you had previously. So you're almost doing your body weight at 15. That's pretty good. That's actually really, really good. A little pain in my arm. So don't want to create a mechanical advantage. If I put this wrap over my elbow, it'll actually create compression and make one side stronger than the other. But I want to put a little bit of pressure on that tendon. For body weight for a 15-year-old, I think that's a really good goal. The average person should aim to do their body weight. So I always say for men, this is just generally, if you want to call yourself legitimately strong, you should be able to squat and deadlift 2 times your body weight and shoot for about 1.5 times your body weight for bench. And if you can do that, you're strong. There's nobody could claim otherwise. And there's a lot of problems with that math. That's a very basic, it's like someone's asking you, how much should I do? If you could squat twice your body weight, you're a strong dude, 15, 6 feet, sadly 310 pounds. I don't look like it because I have muscle. But I've never did a push-up in my life, so when I started, I was struggling with the bar. Now, max is 135. Smart gamer. Yeah, I mean, you're a big boy, but you're doing what you're like. I blew up to 250. Like, I got pretty big I'm 5'9", so if you can imagine, 250 pounds, and not in a good way. Just keep at it. Follow a real simple linear progression program. Ride them newbie gains out, like the starting strength 5x5 or something along those lines. Stick with it. A couple things that I always tell new lifters is don't ever miss more than 3 days before you train. Never go more than 3 days. You got to get your ass in the gym. You do that for 90 days and you build a nice habit up. Do the compound lifts, squats, bench, deadlift, overhead press, barbell rows. You can throw in dips and pull-ups into that mix. You do that little handful of lifts and consistently over a period of 6 months, you're going to have a really nice, strong platform of strength, and you're going to probably like the way you start looking. Dieting, when you're at a certain, I don't know how tall you are, I don't know how much you should weigh, but if I would think that someone at your age, 310 is big. I don't know if your goal is to lose weight or not, but I wouldn't really worry about dieting so much as I would just focus on getting stronger. Everybody loses strength if they cut. And that's okay. You know, when I dropped down to the 198 weight class, uh, I lost a lot of strength, but rather than bulk back up to 220, what I did is I decided to get strong at 198. So I got as strong at that weight as I was when I was 220, which took 6 months, we'll say. And then from there, when I went back up to 220, I was even stronger. So, you know, when you're cutting, just understand you're gonna lose a little strength, but it's temporary. You'll get it back as long as you're training. People don't want to sacrifice that strength, but it's like it's a principle I call delayed gratification. You know, if I say, hey, I'll give you $20 today and you can buy whatever you want, you know, that new toy in the store. Or if you wait a month or 2 weeks, I'll give you $300. You know, there's a lot of young, you know, like kids, including myself, that couldn't do it. I want the money right now. That's why, like, the way I look at, like, you know, if you're dieting and you lose strength, like, think of it as a long-term investment. 315 for 2. That's pretty damn good. 190 pounds, worked on and off my whole life, but I haven't worked out for about 2 years. I could bench press 280, squat 400, and deadlift 450. That's legitimate, dude. That is legitimate. That's an outstanding starting point. I don't know how old you are, Michael, but slipping discs is no bueno, Brian. But have you gotten an MRI done? Do you know how bad it is? I went into lifting with a bad back. I had a major surgery. Matter of fact, I started lifting to fix the problems I had. I had knee reconstruction. I had some back surgery, and squatting fixed all that. Squatting, deadlifting. Did a lot of Jefferson curls, a lot of physical therapy lifting. Fat boy's back. What's up, Benjamin? You look tough. I have a deal for you. Notice my message. This message will self-destruct. The mission, if you choose to accept it. Dun 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 dun. Dun. So what's your message there, Roger? You're gonna make me scroll through the. I'm not gonna do that. If you got a message, just retype it. If I can bench 325 and squat 375, is that good? I don't know. Is that good? Are you happy with it? I think a 300. Most men. I think there's less than 2% of the men on the planet that will ever be able to bench 3 plates. That definitely puts you in the top, like, 5 percentile of strength in the planet. Charles, what are you lifting today? I'm getting my last volume bench day out of the way. I really was gonna skip it, but it just wasn't sitting right with me. Scrolled so much, reached USA. How heavy are you? I weigh 220. If I could only bench 305, I can only bench 305, but I get a baseball 400 feet. Damn, that's what's up. Dude, bench numbers are like, I don't know. I've never cared. Like, I've never been like, you don't bench 225. I can't be friends with you, pussy. Like, who gives a shit? Are you happy? You know, it's like, you tell me you want to get stronger, we can do that. But I don't judge other men on how much weight they can lift. That'd be a weird thing. I get people on YouTube that call me out all the time and like, I'm like, I'm stronger than you. I'm like, okay, you win. Here's your cookie. Like, okay, I don't know what you want from me. That they want me to say that I concede you, sir, are stronger than me. And you're better looking. You're more eloquent. As a matter of fact, you outmeasure me in every conceivable metric. I'm at your mercy, sir. Are you happy now? Can you please leave me alone? Is the flag hanging the wrong way? You tell me there, Jay. I'm going to let you use your deductive abilities to see if you can investigate to see whether or not my flag is hanging the wrong way. You tell me. The Adirondacs, nice. Walker, thank you. Dragon Tamer. No, let him figure it out, Dragon. Don't give him any clues. There's letters in the background. How's your day been? Nobody. Good. Lazy. Christina and I, we took 2 naps, and I wasn't going to train, and then 7 o'clock, I'm like, God, my conscience started gnawing at me. I recently started to do more bench variations to increase my bench press. I plan on doing a pause bench, pin presses, static holds, and speed bench work. What are some variations you do? Smart gamer. So, I'm a simple dude. So here's what I do. First and foremost, tempo. So I'll do a nice 3-second count. 1, 2, 3, and then I fire off the chest. And I do that with every variation. Second thing I do is I rotate barbells. So this is the football bar. Now, this will change your grips to neutral. The positives is you've got 3 different grips. You got close, medium, wide. And for a lot of people, switching to neutral gives them, it makes it easier for them. Some people makes it harder. I'm using the widest grips, so it adds a little bit of difficulty. But for the most part, I can bench more with this bar than the regular one. Why am I using it? Well, it changes the shoulder rotation a little bit. So, the second barbell I use is a camber bar, and that's that one that's got that 4-inch bend in it. Now, what that one does is it increases the range of motion and it stretches the pecs out. So one day I'm doing increased range of motion. The next day I'm doing like a decreased power movement. And then the third week I'm switching to a regular bench press. So I rotate 3 barbells. A tempo. And when I do the camber bar, I like to focus on the stretch. And I take advantage of that increased range of motion, and I'll do what's called lengthened partials. Almost like a spoto press, but in a really compromised, stretched position, and that's where you get the best hypertrophy. And rotating those 3 things kind of pyramids into my 1 rep max on the platform. Can I still train for strength with 8 reps? Yeah, as long as you're progressing. So to get stronger, you have to force your body to adapt, which means you have to stress it out. So something has to increase, either the amount of weight you're pushing or the amount of reps you're doing. And usually in tandem, reps, weight. You know what I mean? If you're not progressing, you're not getting stronger, period. So you show me a guy that can bench 315 pounds, and every week he does 315 pounds, and he will always be able to do 315 pounds and not a pound more. He will not get stronger. Yeah, we're in Vegas. You grew up on Centennial and Aliante. Oh, you're way out there. Shadow Ridge, nice. How did I get your neck so big? Maybe it's Maybelline. Are you gonna have more kids, J Slice? Well, I'm not doing anything to not have more kids, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Can you imagine? I mean, if God wants me to have another little one, I will have another little one. Simple as that. I need to find a cambered bar. Ever tried using chains on your bench? Yeah, chains are good. Chains, blocks. Usually I'll do those for accessories. I'll do blocks. I was using the slingshot for a long time, but ever since I hurt my shoulder, I'm afraid to use it again. If you don't have a camber bar, you can use dumbbells. Or dumbbells, you can do extreme range of motion too. And dumbbells, a lot of people would argue dumbbells are actually the better option. And because they train stability and it's better shoulder health all around. I would agree with that. But for me, it's specificity, because I am trying to get a stronger 1 rep max on my bench press. I tend to stick to variations that are specific to that. But yeah, dumbbells work. You can, I'll also do things like 1 week I'll incline my bench 4 inches or decline it 4 inches. I'll stick a block under either side of it. Just a slight incline or decline, nothing too crazy because I still want it to be specific to making my bench stronger. Um, what hurts me more than anything is not is recovery. Um, because I'm 50, it takes me a lot longer than a younger guy to recover. And like, me training for this powerlifting competition, it's like I'm I'm into that negative recovery where I'm starting to move in the wrong direction. And we're peaking this week, so it's actually perfect timing because I'll have a deload and then I'll go right into competition. If I were to push the program any longer, I would actually be negatively affecting my 1 rep maxes because that's how hard we've been hitting it. I mean, there was the first 2 weeks of programming, I had 3 bench days in 1 week, and that was crazy. Do you know when to increase weight? Rule of thumb. Now, this is really basic. This is not scientific. But it's based on science. So I go to the 5 to 10 rule. So whatever you can press for 5 reps, that's your weight. You'll start with a weight that you could do more than 5, right? Like say you're doing 50% of your 1 rep max when you start the starting strength 5 by 5. If you can comfortably do 10 reps, then you need to add weight. You do that 10 reps, okay, I got that backwards. So you start with a weight that you can do for 5 reps. Yeah, I did have it backwards. Duh. And as you keep going, that gets easier, and then you can do 6 reps and 7 and 8. Once you start getting 8 to 10, it's time to put weight on the bar, and then you're back down to 5 reps again, and then you can do 6, and then you can do 7, and so on and so forth. So it's like you start with a weight that's at the rep range you want it to be at, and for the starting strength 5 by 5, it's usually 50% 1 rep max as just a starting point. If you find that to be too easy, you'll go up. If it's too hard, you go down. If you can't complete 5 reps, it's obviously too heavy. If you can do it for 10, you need to add weight. It's just a way to kind of yo-yo yourself between 5 and 10 reps. And if you keep progressing and just adding a few pounds every 4 weeks or so, you'll find, you'll eventually hit a plateau because linear progression only goes so far. And then once you hit that plateau, then it's time to reevaluate your program and start to look at like undulating periodization and things of that nature. But for beginners, I would just say keep it simple, linear progression, start with 50% 1 rep max and just work your way up and keep progressing at that until you hit that roadblock. And most people, when they start training, strength training, you've got a good solid 6 months of newbie gains where your body's adapting because you've never stressed it out before. And you really can't do anything wrong. Just go hard. Go hard and keep trying to add weight, and you're going to see progress. If I could go back and do things differently, I would have paid more attention to my lifting form. And I would have got that dialed in before anything because I was an ego lifter and I like to throw weights around. My alarm went off. All right. This is my last working set for bench. And it's calling for, drum roll, a minimum of, it says a minimum of 1 rep. And, babe, how bad are you hurting? You available to spot me? If you're hurting, then I don't need you. I got the safety bars, but give me a second, guys. I know there's a lag in the chat here, so I'm gonna go ask my wife if she could spot me. Ow. All right, all right. Christina's gonna spot me, so I got a couple minutes. Yeah, Christina's gonna come out and give me a spot, so that way I can do some force reps. Large sack. That's a great name. Don't listen to this guy. Lift with your back once a month at twice your max, then slam your head into a wall. That's one way to do it. I like it. Large sack's a great name. Let's see how long you've been on YouTube here. Oh, let's see. 7 years. So you are not an alt account. Or if you are, you've been trolling for 7 years. Damn. Bro just wants more views. Well, yeah. Duh. No, I want less. I'm doing this so I can talk to myself. That's a better name than mine, Wet Shart. Yeah, but don't change your name. You are our Wet Shart. How long have you been resting between sets? Normally I set a timer for like 10 minutes. Hell yeah. How are they going to be able to see you? She's wearing camouflage.
It took me a moment.
But that's a dad joke. I have to do a minimum of one.
You can get more into you.
Yeah. We'll set it up. Whew. That's failure right there. Thank you. Oh shit. Did I get 5?
No, you got 4.
Oh, bummer.
Almost, baby.
Yeah, 345 for 4. That's not bad, I guess. Was it 5? Oh, sweet. So let's see, mathematically, that puts me roughly 1, if I use the NASM 1 rep max calculator, 345 for 5 reps, that puts me at 403 pounds. So hope, but I have to do it with a pause. That's the problem. That's where you make your money in competition. Because I know I can get 405 at touch and go. I know I can do it. I've done it plenty of times. Can I do it in competition? That's the other. We'll see. Because usually on game day I have way more energy. You know, as long as I don't have to do a water cut, because I think that's what sapped me the last time I did a water cut and I didn't refeed properly and I was just dehydrated and my bench sucked. I think I got 360. It was awful. And then they had me sit down and chug water. So in the time between bench press and deadlift, I was feeling way better and I managed to salvage the meat. And I still had like a 1640 total. Like it turned, I mean, because squat I broke the record. Bench, I was dehydrated and I was cramping and it fucking sucked. Jimmy D, the bar has to be harder to press than a regular bar. It's hard to say. So I'm using the widest grips. So I use these grips, right? And that puts a really big stretch on the pecs. Some guys can press more with the Swiss bar. They can do more. Some guys it's harder. It just really depends on what your grip is and the way you're built. For me, I think it's easier. I think it's easier to press with that. Whew. Ooh. Tendinitis, that's hurting. I'm glad this is my last bench. Oh, I got one more. I got one more closer to the meat. I got to do I gotta get my openers. So I am going to let this rest and not do any more pressing. Maybe like push-ups, stuff like that. Give it a few minutes here, and then we'll do some accessory work. Oh God, that hurts so bad. I'm taking my old man pills. Oh man, this tank top is older than I've had this thing for, God, 10 years. So right in here, this pain is not from benching, believe it or not. It's actually from squatting. That bar puts so much torque on my hands, my arms, when I have it locked in. It bends the arm back and it starts causing like tendinitis, and you get it on the eccentric portion of the lift. Why don't you take that bar and shove it? Pre-stuff 1. We got Portuguese Jim taking the Viagra pills. I prefer Cialis. Oh man, it just fucking hurts. No, you know what they have me on? You ever seen the Celebrex commercials with the 2 old people dancing? Celebrex, and it's got grandpa and grandma getting romantic. You're like, are you an old crippled fucker? Take Celebrex, and you too you can bend over and tie your shoes. Oh man. Just right here, the top connection point to the bicep goes up into the labrum. There's one here and one here. And it just runs right down, right in there, just screaming at me. How old are you? 50. The body beat down. What's up? It's about to smell like a Bengay and Biofreeze factory up in this motherfucker. Should I join the military or just for the GI Bill? Uh, no. That's a good benefit. I use the VA home loan. That's awesome. I got locked in 3% interest, and I could sell that interest rate with the house. Um, the VAs, man, I get I get paid by the state for disability, for all the crap they did to me. um, but no. I mean, that's a reason. That's definitely a good benefit. And if you plan on attending college, you definitely take advantage of that. A lot of vets don't. Or they'll get it and they'll go to like they'll do junior college for a year or two and then kind of give up on it. But I also know a lot of veterans that went and got their master's degree. One buddy of mine, he's on a track to become a PhD. But for what the military is going to ask of you, you should have a little bit more of a reason. Like, and I'm not. That's a hypocrite because I joined because I was homeless. I was a homeless kid, and I picked the Marines because they had the coolest looking uniform. That was literally all the thought I put into it. When I went into the recruiter's office, he bought me a sandwich, and he showed me the movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood, and I was like, "Sign me up, coach." You know what I mean? Like, let's do it. I had the Navy guy. I was like, I looked at that Cracker Jack uniform, and I was like, "You guys are cool, but I can't wear that." And then the Army had the worst uniforms. Like, no offense, but they had like pins and medals in quantities that only a dime store salesman could appreciate. I mean, one of the ribbons they wear is for throwing your grenade in boot camp. Like, it's like a Boy Scout merit badge. And the Marines aren't like that. They don't wear a lot of ribbons, and they don't wear, like, if they went to Ranger school, they don't wear a Ranger tab on their uniform. It's just like we show off a little tiny bit. Marines are like, I'm a Marine. I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna fucking talk shit about the Army. I love my Army. I love my Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard. I got friends in all branches, and if the saying is, if you point your weapon in the same direction I am, we're buddies. I don't give a fuck where you're from. But you're gonna talk shit about uniforms. You can't really argue that the dress blues. I mean, what does the kids say these days? Riz. If you can't get laid in dress blues, you're gonna be a lonely person. uh, but looking back, I would say that my reasons for joining or being in the military evolved. Once I made it past boot camp and I got on my first deployment and we started doing some cool shit. Then it became down to like, well, do I want to stay? Do I want to keep doing this? And that those reasons become almost ideological, very much a part of who you are. But if I could, just to go for college, especially in this day and age where you could be deployed to the border, you could go to the Middle East, you could go to the Caucasus mountain ranges and all those Eastern Bloc countries. Who knows what the hell's gonna pop off there in the next 10 years? We could be fighting China. It's like there's easier ways to get college money. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but you might as well take advantage of it. Baller want to box? I'd love to, man. I love sparring. People always tell me they're gonna come kick my ass, but nobody ever shows up. You beat an old man up. Congratulations, you beat a 50-year-old man up. Is the Space Force real? Yeah, it is, and it's actually as stupid as it sounds. It's actually got a legitimate mission that the Air Force was already doing. Back in the day, the Air Force used to be part of the Army. It was the Army Air Corps, and for a whole bunch of reasons, they split and became their own branch. Well, that's essentially what the Space Force is to the Air Force. That sector has grown enough to merit its own chain of command and budgetary oversight and congressional oversight. So they're going to have their own, Joint Chiefs of Staff, all the whole nine yards. And obviously when Trump signed him in, he picked the Star Trek badge, which I think's awesome, but it kind of makes it look goofy. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? And it just seems like a bunch of nerds, and they're a bunch of nerds. But they're, we have so many assets orbiting the Earth, and there's so many enemy assets orbiting the Earth, and most of the major powers that have satellites up in space are also engaging in anti-satellite and anti-space shenanigans. Everything from missile defense to surveillance, global surveillance, everything, the whole 9 yards. Providing communications in disasters, that kind of thing, like what Elon doing with Starlink. Um, just yeah, the Space Force is pretty cool once you really start digging into it and taking a look. Now, I don't know if they have their own special forces or anything. Can you imagine? Plus, they're also working on re-entry vehicles that can enter the Earth's orbit and then re-enter at a different point, almost like taking a commuter plane. So, like where it took, half a day to cross, to get from America to Europe, it could be done in, 15, 20 minutes. So, shoot a guy up in a rocket and zip, like we're developing the technology to be able to use orbit travel and for military purposes. The military always gets it first. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Everybody knows what GPS is, right? In the mid '90s, GPS was pretty much limited to the military, and they started letting civilian companies like Garmin use it. Google then got access to it, and they started creating like Google Earth and Apple and all that. Well, that started out as a strictly military technology, and we use it for triangulating fire. I was in artillery, so in order to shoot a bullet 20 miles, you have to know where you're at, you have to know where your enemy's at, and you have to know your elevation, his elevation. You got to be able to triangulate, and we used to do that manually using known points like mountain ranges, like surveyed points. You could use constellations like stars. You could look at the topography, and if you could point out like mountain peaks, you could triangulate doing that way. Well, then we got the plugger, which is big, looked like a big old satellite phone, and it was a GPS, and it would tell you exactly where you were. So now you could take your guns and lay them in, and what would take a half hour, now it takes 20 seconds. And then you could shoot at your enemy, pack up, get the fuck out of there before their counter battery radar can return fire to your location, and you're already set up, ready to shoot back at them. Well, that was military technology. What was the point I was going for here? It's like everything starts with the military, and then it gets trickled down into the civilian population. So it'll be interesting to see when with the Space Force and NASA and all of them, what they eventually come up with for military use. I would like to see how it trickles down. But what America's doing that's really cool now, that's really unprecedented, is we're allowing private businesses, like you've always had like Boeing and Lockheed and McDonnell Douglas and Grumman, military contractors that make airplanes, and they also make civilian aircraft. So that's how they made a lot of their money. Like Boeing does passenger planes, but they never privately made. Like, well, I guess it's not unprecedented, but it is unprecedented for orbital stuff, like going into outer space. Companies like SpaceX, they had the Virgin. I don't know if he's still doing his thing. You got the what's his name from Amazon? He does his space program. So there's a bunch of private companies now, and the military's now outsourcing to private companies, which is a lot cheaper. It's way more competitive, and it seems to be they have a better talent pool because they pay better. I don't know. It's interesting. Not see NASA as a scam on American people. I pretty much think that all government institutions, if they weren't enshrined in the Constitution, are unconstitutional. So, but here's the thing. I also firmly believe that one of the functions of government is a strong defense, and globalism wouldn't exist if it wasn't for American interventionism. You got these dumbass fucking, what is it? Not even Gen Z, but these stupid ass communists that think that we would be better off like as socialists that don't understand how like free markets operate. And unfortunately, America's not one of them. America's more socialist than a socialist country, believe it or not. Our government's gotten way too big and bloated, but ideally we would maintain free trade with other countries. It's like the second our Navy pulls out of like, the China, Philippines, like all that shipping goes to shit. all those pirates, all the like the you know the you got the what is it there the Strait of Gibraltar, you got what's the Red Sea passageway there, but you know all those shipping lanes, it would be untenable. There would shipping would we'd lose globalism. Your ability to go online to Amazon right now and order that cheap Chinese garbage that you want at your door the next day, that goes bye bye. So it's kind of like one of those things as people rail against the system that provides them with the quality of life that's unheard of. Like no society has ever had it as easy as we do, and I've never met a more whiny, ungrateful bunch of people that hate their own country, and it just blows me away when I hear this stuff. Oh yes, I am not a fan of our government, but I do love me some America. My first time on this channel. Are you in a wheelchair? I I would love to have a wheelchair. That'd be sweet, especially if it's motorized. Fucking be rocking that bitch. Get me a mobility scooter, and I would joust with it. I would turn my cane into so it would extend out and have like a little punching bag on the end of it, and I would just scooter by and just like smack people with it. And then on the back of my scooter, it would have a sign that says "You're welcome for my service," and a little flag. All right, what time is it? It is 9:14. Oh yeah. Uh, let's see. Hello from Brazil, Danilo. I knew the warrior wasn't dead. Is that you, Jim? Do some squats. Yeah, I did that yesterday. I did heavy fucking squats. I hit almost 3 times my body weight for 3 reps. I fucking killed it. If I can get the total, which is the combined score of all 3 lifts, if I can get that national record and at least the squat, I'll consider that a pretty big win. Because the total's the one they look at when they do the rankings. Like which lifter lifted the most. Me. I think the bench is a little out of reach. It's 425 is the national record for bench. I don't think I have that in me with a pause. I'd have to have like the best day ever. Not impossible, but not likely. He does row. Yeah, so I haven't, when I'm getting ready for competition, the accessories I normally do get honed down to almost nothing. So like a week before I'm powerlifting, I am just doing the 3 lifts. But the thing about bench, if you want to have like a longevity in benching, you should, as a general rule of thumb, be able to row as much as you can push. And if you're pulling at this angle, you should be able to push at that angle. You should be equally strong in opposing directions. Now, that's not possible for a lot of people, but try to get it as close as you can. That should be like something you strive to do. Plus, if you can manage that, you'll have a really nice upper body physique. I'm always touching myself. Let's see, I wish I had a lifting coach. We got me. What is this, a homemade gym? No, I was walking down the street and some dude left his garage open, so I just wandered in here and set my camera up. My dad had told me, son, there's no such thing as stupid questions. Just stupid people. 7:21. Yesterday the squat took me 3 hours? Today I'm already done with the bench press. That didn't take me hardly any time at all. Let me clean my lens off here. So that leaves me enough time to get a little bit of accessory work in. I'm going to stretch my hamstrings, my lower back, and my lats out. All right. Yeah. Planet Fitness. Unreal. How much does the setup cost? So I bought most of the weights on estate sales, things like that, garage sales, swap meets. The weights. There's probably $5,000 of equipment, but I didn't spend that. I pretty much got the rack for free. I helped someone move and he gave it to me, and then I had to refurbish it. It's got that nice cable machine. That thing is why I keep it. The only plates I bought new were the 2 bumper plates that I got from Titan Fitness because I wanted to be able to do like overhead snatch and drop the barbell. I can't. You can do it with steel plates, but it'll mess your garage floor up. So I've got about 800 pounds of weight. Where I spent the money was with barbells. I got a Texas power bar or a deadlift bar. I got a Titan power bar. I got a camber bar. I got a football bar. Powerlifters. All the power that the lifter needs is 2 rubber mats, bink, and that one, and then somewhere to hold the weights so you get under it and do things. That's it. That's what you need. Yeah, a barbell, some plates, and something to set weights on. And I train for, I train for nationals and worlds using this garbage equipment. Wacky, drop the Sankey, slide out the rack. Let's go get some Simplify. $75 gym. Yeah. Well, like a Texas power or deadlift bar is like $400. The Titan power bar is like $250. Cap camber bar is like, I don't know, $180. The Swiss bar prices vary, but you're probably looking at $150. What's next exercise? I'm gonna finish my rows here, and then I'm gonna do some calisthenics type stuff. I live near next Donald's, so I just use the people to get jacked. Yeah, dude. I mean, so in this day and age, like, dude, I can't find anywhere that sells weights cheaper than $1 a pound. That's roughly what you're looking at. But if you keep your eyes peeled, like we use a program, an app called OfferUp. There's a couple of them you can use, Craigslist. Just keep an eye out. Some people will trade stuff for them. Maybe you can provide a service they need. A lot of people will trade, like, well, I'll trade this weight set for fill in the blank, and maybe you can offer that. There's ways to do it. Swap meets sometimes they have. Vegas has some really big swap meets. You go down there and people sell their stolen goods, and you usually get a set cheap. Played Against Sports. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're not necessarily the cheapest way to go, but a lot of times, what's cool about Titan Fitness is Titan will let you finance a couple $1,000s worth of equipment, and you can pay them weekly. And the only problem with that is it's super high interest. But let's say, you're a competitive powerlifter and you need a power bar. You just need one and you don't make that much money. So you buy a $200 power bar and you pay them $25 a week or whatever. You can go down to $15 a week, something affordable. You're going to pay twice what that bar costs the longer you take to pay it. But it is, it's an affordable way sometimes to get stuff when you're on the cheap, And then when you do get some money, you just pay it off. There's no penalty for paying it off. Like, you could just, if you can pay it off, do it. Fair enough. Thanks for the info. Trump sucks. What do you not like about him, Bada Boom? I think he's awesome. He's hilarious. I like Eon too. But I suppose he's not for everyone. What do you not like about Don? The no home gym is complete without mismatched equipment with varying degrees of rust, right? People who are like, your weights are ugly. Like, 45 pounds is 45 pounds. Like, okay. Like, if I bought a brand new set of Rogue Fitness and I spent $10,000 and got their kilo plates like we use in competition, and they're calibrated to 0.25 kilograms. What would that do for me? Like nothing. I mean, would it make me a better lifter? It doesn't move any easier. He's creating wars. What wars is he creating? Like, that's Are you? Do you? Please tell me you're not getting your information from legacy media, like you're watching CNN or MSNBC or Fox or any of them. Please tell me that you have the access to the entire wealth of human civilization in the palm of your hand. You're probably sitting on the shitter listening to me prattle on in my garage. And there are so many things that you can investigate the whole story and get every bit of detail as to what's really going on and get a much better geopolitical picture. Or if you're watching the fear mongering that's going on with the, legacy media, it's like, Lord have mercy. We're in the middle of fucking wars. How are they going to end? And it wasn't started by him either. Like, just I do like that he's not taking shit from anybody, but also don't agree with him on everything that he's doing either. But I kind of understand why he's doing it. Anyone who says Trump sucks thinks Rachel Maddow's hot. Yeah, I just wanted to know. I mean, like I you know me, I'll talk to anybody, and if you actually are a liberal and you believe what the news tells you, I'd like to get perspective. I just like to see, I don't judge people for their beliefs. But if I disagree with you, I'm going to tell you I disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you. Gulf of America is fucking epic. Do you know why they did that? The Biden administration put into legislation that we couldn't pursue oil and natural gas ventures in the Gulf of Mexico. They enshrined it into law. So how do you get around that? You change the fucking name. Brilliant. God, what a fucking pimp. Gulf of America, bitches. See, but did you know that? Did you know that's the reason why it was done? Georgie, what's up? I mean, they didn't tell you that on MSNBC or CNN. Oh, no. No, they probably came up with some racist thing, like he hates Mexicans, so he made it Gulf of America, right? That's probably what you think. What do you think Trump's max squat, bench, and deadlift would have been at his peak? God, he would have been the best power lifter that ever lived. He would have made Ed Cohen look like I don't even have a good analogy. He would have made Ed Cohen look like Eddie Hall's butt wipe. Trying to cover all sources. Yeah, and here's the thing, is like I don't disagree with everything Trump's doing, but I also don't really have like a better alternative either. The cynicism and nihilism of Gen Z and younger, what we've gone into with the postmodernism is deconstruction. So everybody's a revolutionary. Everybody wants to burn everything down. Everybody wants to deconstruct. Everybody wants to change. But there's no reconstruction. Nobody has a better plan. Nobody says, well, this is how I would do it. This is what we need to do. It's this needs to change. This needs to end. We're going to destroy. And it all comes right out of the, Marxism at its roots. Instead of using class warfare, they found a way to divide us using like race and gender and that kind of ideology. But either way, divide, keep everybody at each other's throats, and demoralize the population. Constant deconstruction equals demoralization, which is cynicism's natural path to nihilism. And at that point, you can exact control, which is definitely the direction we were headed. And it was the fucking plan too. And now that Trump's in there, he's the pea in the chili, he's the bee in the bonnet. It's like, is he going to do everything right? No, he's a bull in a china shop. He's smashing up. But the thing is that he has a plan to rebuild, to reconstruct. Communism says, fuck America, I want to end the government and take it all, to redistribute the wealth, eat the rich. All right, so once you've destroyed the most free and prosperous society that's ever existed, what is your intention to replace that system of government? You're a Nazi. And they run away. It's like, oh, I'm a Nazi now. What's your 1 rep max on squats? Currently, I'm going to say about 660, 660 pounds. McDonald's Power Belly is the key to success. I don't know that you should eat McDonald's. Are you trying to insinuate something? What steroids do you use? All of them. All of them at once. I took Rich Piana's stack right before he died and I tripled it. And I jam it right up my ass. I got cancer, then told me today they said I have about 3 months. I'm sorry to hear that, Max. That's a bummer. What are you doing about it? Laugh hard, train hard. We need a plan. We need a plan, a group plan. I feel being live will be the solution before this AI gets too good. Being live won't be good enough to convince it's real. Well, I mean, dude, there's AI scares the shit out of me. I mean, in some ways, I think it could do a lot of good, but the problem is that it's another arms race, and nobody has a good concept or understanding outside of watching the movie Terminator of what it can. But that's actually that's a possible outcome, believe it or not. For Trump. Oh yeah, no, Trump eats a shit ton of fucking McDonald's. Yeah, I thought you were making fun of my gut. What are the top 3 shoulder exercises? The best way to build traps. I'm gonna tell you one shoulder exercise that you can use to do all of it. So what I like to do is called a Hansen press. Obviously, we do normal military presses, right? But I'll take the bar and I'll extend the range of motion and press like this. And notice it rotates the entire shoulder. So this is a lightweight, high rep exercise. And then for traps, all you have to do is like, this is a shrug, right? You're pulling. The traps are a very thin muscle that cover the top of the lats. If you look at the anatomy, if you really want to hit the traps, when you're at the top of your press, just extend it up. You see what my traps are doing? That's going to hit your traps way harder. And then between deadlifts and rows, and then overhead presses, you won't need to really isolate them ever. America, the true American way will come. I'm a Native American Aztec. This land will prosper once again. I hope it does. Our family immigrated here after World War II. We came over in the late 40s from Ireland. Bada Boom said F America, and my wife blacked it out, and so normally the thing to do would be ban him, but I'm not going to do that because I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's like freedom of speech is to defend the American flag, which I love dearly, and the person who burns it. I have to defend his speech too, even though I strongly dislike that. So what I'll say is people are entitled to their opinions. It's like I don't consider myself ideological, or definitely not ideologically possessed. Especially like low resolution, like F America conversations. Like to me, that's like sub 90 IQ stuff. I can already tell you don't really investigate. You have contempt prior to investigation, and you don't really know what you're talking about. That was trying to suss out what level of conversation we were going to have when it came to geopolitics, and you've not done any kind of investigating outside of watching probably CNN. Fine, that's cool. Doesn't give you much of an argument. You certainly can't sit at the big boy table and participate in real conversation because you don't know the facts. There's plenty to criticize, but you don't know enough to even make a good critique. Does that make sense? And that's not to discredit you or say, I would encourage you to investigate a little bit more. If you think you don't like something, dig a little deeper and find out why. But I don't believe in the Holy Savior. Like, no man, and the Bible states this: do not put your faith in men. Not princes, not kings. No one man is going to solve the world's problems. We have to take personal responsibility. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not against him. I'm definitely vehemently against any kind of collectivism. So I would say that I'm very, very anti-democrat or leftist in general. I can't stand progressives, Marxists, socialists, any of those. Anyone who thinks that you're going to take what I worked for and distribute it, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm a free market capitalist. But the point being is, like, if you were to ask me my political alignment, it would almost be closer to anarchist, libertarian, small government. No, it's not no rules. It's no ruler. You don't have authority over me. So, I'm not aligned with any political party. So people come on and be like, fuck conservatives. I'm like, yeah, they're assholes. It's like, fuck Trump. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I voted for him. I think he's funny. It's like, I don't get offended by that because I'm not aligned with any of these people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm aligned with myself and my family, and we do have some conservative values, and we have some liberal ones. I consider myself a very socially liberal person and a very fiscally conservative one. There's traditional values, but I also believe that everybody has their, right to their own experience, and then that means if you want to, like, chop your dangling off and dress like Tammy Faye Baker, be free, butterfly. Just get out of my girl's bathroom. That's you don't get to put your shit on me. It's like, your life is not my fault, and my life is none of your fucking business. I think that sums up my politics. And Ron Paul. What if libertarians had more power online with them? I was a card-carrying libertarian until they, what was that chick that was running for president? She came out and said it wasn't enough to be not racist. We had to be anti-racist, that whole Black Lives Matter thing. And I was like, you just fucking told a bunch of libertarians we need to stand for a cause. You're out of your fucking mind. And I canceled my party membership. Like, you don't you don't tell me what cause I need to stand for. It's like, you'll never see my profile picture turn into some flag or some symbol. I don't give a fuck about what the news is telling me I need to support. I have my own beliefs, thank you, and I'll do my own investigating, and we can have a discussion about it. But I don't need to take up your cause. You know what I mean? It's like, some people say Black Lives Matter. Some people say all lives matter. Marines say no lives matter, you fucking maggots. I believe all Americans need to stop any form of stepping on our rights. It will be taken over time. Exactly, and it's our responsibility to speak up. The reason why the left has run all over conservatives is because we're not the ones that go online and complain about shit. That's why they were in such a bubble that they legitimately thought Kamala Harris was going to beat Trump, because their bubble only associates with people that have the same opinions. They don't talk to anybody else. And when you hone yourself down to only talking to people that have the same beliefs as you, you're in a bubble. How could you not be? So you got to put yourself out there, and you have to talk to people that you disagree with. And there's another principle that I like to remind people of. In a perfect system, any structure of hierarchical structure based on competence or merit, let's say, like, who's the best plumber. You take 100 plumbers, or it could be any trade, any craftsmanship, and it's going to follow the Pareto distribution, which is the 80-20 rule. It's 20% of the plumbers are going to do 80% of the work. And they're going to be rock stars. They're going to get all the bids. They're going to get all the contracts. Any hierarchical structure based on competence or skill or meritocracy will eventually dispossess those at the bottom. Either they're not skilled, They're not competent, they're lazy, whatever the case is, the reason why they're not succeeding. Now, conservatives say that all hierarchical structures should be based on merit and competence, but they can tend to become tyrannical over time. So the left, looking out for the dispossessed, the people at the bottom, saying, hey, we need to take care of them too. There needs to be that tug of war. So you have competence on one end and let's care for everybody on the other, and they need to have that tug of war to maintain the hierarchy. Otherwise it will fail. If it becomes too tyrannical, it fails. If the left takes over and steals all the competence earnings and distributes it to the poor, it fails because they no longer have a reason to even try to work. You get the Soviet Union. Nobody tried because there was no point in trying. You couldn't do better for yourself. So you need both of them to you need the left and the right in a balance and a tug of war. So that's my message to my liberal friends is we need you, but you guys have lost your fucking minds with all this gender bullshit. Like, for real, stop huffing fucking glue and come back to reality, and let's continue down the path that we've forged the last couple 100 years in creating the most free and prosperous society that's ever existed before it's fucking too late. There you go. America. It's 9:46. Yeah, the Soviet Union had a lot of problems. I did my my college dissertation on the 1917 revolution, when the Bolsheviks took power. That's what I studied, Eastern Bloc communism. All right. Well, I was going to hit the heavy bag a little bit, but it's getting kind of late, so I guess tomorrow's an off day, so maybe I'll get online and do it a couple hours. Well, Jay, you see the comment right above you, Jay Slice? Ray Madrid, sir, hope you're having a great time. Lisa, The Path of Common Sense. Yes. Ben, it's a great song. Oh, Retro Skull, there are only two genders. It's kind of like yin and yang. Yeah, exactly. USA Today by K. Leo. I don't know why that got deleted, but you need a gray area. Oh, yeah, exactly. I was like thinking like a green screen? No, yeah. Well, that's life. There's no black and white, So there's certain things are black and white. 2 + 2 is 4, period. There are only two genders, period. But, for the most part, agreeing with people you disagree with, that's life. Like, nobody agrees. That's why those systems can never, they couldn't work, because you can't re-engineer people. We all have different interests, talents, wants, desires, abilities. It'll never be even, ever. And people are like, okay, well, capitalism, you got the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Okay, what system of government doesn't have that problem? You think it was better in communist Russia? where the party were the rich and they got richer, and then everybody was poor. As a matter of fact, they were so poor they weren't even allowed to eat the food they farmed. And like nobody in America is starving to death, not one person. You tell me, well, there's homeless people. No, though, I'm telling you right now, every fucking homeless person in Vegas has access to food. I promise you. Now, whether they choose it or not, it might come with conditions like, hey, you have to be sober if you want to eat here. That's a choice. I'm just saying, nobody in America is going hungry. It's like, anyway, I love talking about politics, but thank you, Poi. I don't know how to pronounce that. J Slice. JYUU. Jew? GU? GU. What's your favorite side delt exercise? Are you talking about medial delts? Medial. Or are you talking about the handstand press? I bench press and handstand press, which is behind the back overhead pressing, but with an extended range of motion. It rolls the whole shoulder, so it actually hits the rear delts a little bit. But you still want to isolate the rear delts just because of they're technically a support muscle. So you need lightweight, and you need to just find something to. You can do it with like a 5-pound weight and just sit on your side. You know, like put your hand on the ground and just raise a weight. You know, like, let me see here. Face pulls are really good, which is where you pull the ropes to your face. And when you pull the rope, you want to rotate your arms. So they kind of rotate this way and then pull back to hit the rear delts. But another way you could do it is you can sit down and just kind of hold weights out. Bend over and just. You want to do these for higher reps, like sets of 15. And see, if you overcome the rear delts with heavier weight, the lats take over, and then it becomes a back exercise. So you want to keep the weight light. But other than the rear delts, if you're doing overhead press, bench, and then the handstand press, that's the only 3 exercises you need. Arnold presses are pretty good. Whew. All right, guys. Wait, did I miss a comment? You think people who did the Russian Revolution, I forgot how to spell the name, Bolsheviks, was the cause of the Holocaust, seeing as they were mostly Jewish? The cause of the Holocaust? No. That was strictly Hitler, but I will say, like, his influences being, Mussolini's Encyclopedia Italiana, and then, of course, some of the like Marxist. He took some from Marxism. You know, people tend to forget. It's like, it's funny, they call National Socialism a right wing tyranny, but it's like they were socialists. National Socialism, it's in the name. Like, I don't know why. That's an extreme left-wing ideology, and I make that correction, and people are like, you're insane. Am I? Like the merger of state and business? I was like, yeah, with one person at the top of the party? Like, what do you, okay, I guess I'm the cuckoo. But no, I mean, that whole time period, like the Jewish people were pretty much persecuted, and I don't think they had good in any country except for America. And even then they had their issues here. You know, we've always had, there's always been some kind of conflict with all the religions. I would say Christianity is probably the most openly mocked religion currently. It's the only religion that it's acceptable and almost encouraged to mock the religion, which is a shame. It's unfortunate. Because I respect everybody's beliefs, you know what I mean? And there again, if I disagree with your beliefs, I'll say it, but I'll say it from a place of respect. I'll give you my reasons, and then we can have a discussion about it. Thank you, King Kong. It's like how Bernie Sanders used to call himself a social democrat. It's pretty clear he's a socialist. Yeah, you know what's funny about Bernie is he cracks me up. He used to say the millionaires and the billionaires, the millionaires and the billionaires, and then he wrote a book, and now he's a millionaire, and now you only hear him say the billionaires, the billionaires. Like, aren't you a millionaire, Bernie? He gets really defensive too. He's like, well, you could write a book. I'm like, oh, now all of a sudden you're a free market capitalist. You want to keep those earnings, huh? Yeah. Funny how that works. Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't earn it. Well, I mean, people are morons, but whatever. They still bought the book. I, as a Muslim, will defend Christians with my life. God bless you, all my brothers and sisters. Yeah, in America, we have the freedom to worship, the freedom of religion, and all beliefs will be respected and tolerated. And with the exception of Scientology, as it's written. As above, so below. I get sad when Christians get mocked. I get sad when they don't defend their beliefs. When Christians get openly mocked and they don't stand up for themselves because they believe it's going to like lower their social standing, that pisses me off. You know, not everybody's going to believe what you believe, and not everyone's going to care what you care about. You stand by what you believe in and be open to maybe learning. You know, maybe you're wrong. You know, I'm for my beliefs. Are evolving all the time. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could get into that, but on that note, I need to get offline. We're going to start talking. We were talking about politics. Now we're talking about theology, and it's 5 minutes to 10. So tomorrow I'll hit the heavy bag tomorrow. I might actually go to the gym. I don't know how that's going to play out. Because tomorrow's sparring, and I'm not really ready for it. And with me competing, I don't know if it's the smartest thing in the world to do. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I love you guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.